Okay, so if you've been seeing Spain Digital Nomad Visa all over your feed, and your first reaction was, is this actually real? Or is this another one of those things that sounds great but unattainable? Welcome to Ready for DNV. This is the podcast where we break down everything about Spain's digital nomad visa. No fluff, no gatekeeping, just real useful information. My name is Rafa.
And I'm Isa, and today we're starting at the very beginning. What this visa actually is, who it's for, and what it takes to qualify.
Let's get into it.
Okay, Rafa, for someone who is genuinely hearing about this for the first time, how do you explain it?
So, the simplest way I describe it, it's Spain's official way of just saying, come live here, bring your foreign income, you are welcome. That's really the spirit of it. The official name is the Visa para Teletrabajadores Internacionales, but everyone just calls it the DNV or the Digital Nomad Visa.
And I think what trips people up when they first hear about it is they assume it's some kind of loophole, like, legal ba talaga to? Because honestly, when I first heard about it, sa TikTok ko pa siya nakita, a mom with two kids na nag-DNV sa Spain. They're living there na for a year. I was really intrigued. Naging interested talaga ako. But I also felt like, wait lang, baka clickbait lang, not real, and asking the question, is it legal?
Right. And the answer is yes, completely legal. Spain created this visa specifically for remote workers. It is not a workaround. It's not stay on tourist visa and hope nobody notices or just I'm just gonna extend my visa while working here. No. This is Spain officially saying you can live here, work remotely, and do it properly.
Which is such a big deal kasi a lot of Filipino remote workers and OFWs have been doing the opposite for years. They're gonna live somewhere on a maybe tourist visa for a few months. Technically not allowed to work, but they're gonna work remotely and they're just gonna hope it's fine. This one, totally different approach siya.
Right, exactly. And the DNV fix is that you get legal residency, you can open a bank account, you get access to Spain's healthcare system, which is amazing. And you can even bring your family with you pa.
And this DNV, how long does it last nga ba?
So initial approval is 1 year. And then you can renew for 2 year periods. Then after 5 years, you can apply for long-term residency. But this is the part na napaka-interesting for Filipinos specifically because you can apply for Spanish citizenship.
Yes, and because of our very long historical relationship between Spain and the Philippines, if you know, you know, Filipinos only need 2 years of residency before citizenship, not 10 like most nationalities. O, di ba?
Right. Which is a whole conversation on its own. We'll do a full episode on that. But the point is, the DNV isn't just a visa. For a lot of people, it's the first step towards something much bigger.
Bottom line for this segment, the DNV is a real legal Spanish residency visa made for remote workers. It gives you the right to live and work in Spain properly, not just passing through.
Okay, so now the part everyone wants to know, do I actually qualify?
And I want to say upfront, when I first started researching this, napakaraming different answers online, different income numbers, different rules depending on the source. Some articles from 2022 that are just not accurate anymore.
That's one of the reasons we started Ready for the NV, honestly. The information exists, it's just scattered everywhere, and some of it is outdated na. So let's go through the actual current requirements.
All right, three main things: income level, where that income comes from, and a clean background.
Sige, income first. The current minimum is 2,849 euros per month. Noong una ko nakita yung number na yun, I thought, okay, that's a lot. But then, I did the math.
At roughly 70 pesos to the euro, which is the approximate rate we're going to use as a reference for this podcast, that's about 200,000 pesos a month.
And for a lot of Filipino remote workers, especially in tech, finance, design, marketing, customer success, that's either where they already are or within reach na.
It's also not one source, ha? If you're a freelancer with three clients from multiple platforms is Upwork, Fiverr, or direct client ka, and your total monthly income hits that number, you qualify. Hindi kailangan galing sa iisang client or iisang employer.
Right. And always check readyfordnv.com for the current figure because it does get adjusted. There were a time back in 2025 that it changes every few months. So here in this podcast, we'll always try to be current, but the website will have the most up to date number.
Second requirement, where the income comes from.
This is called the 80% rule. At least 80% of your income has to come from outside Spain. So if you're a remote employee, your company just needs to be non Spanish. If you're a freelancer, most of your clients need to be international. And then if you can get Spanish client, 20% of your income lang ang pwede.
And for most Filipinos in the remote workspace, your clients are in the US, Australia, the UK. This is already your reality. Basically, nakakomply ka na before you even apply.
Yes, it's one of those requirements that sounds strict, but is actually very natural for our audience.
Our third one, clean background.
For Filipinos, naturally, it's an NDI clearance, apostilled, no criminal record in the countries you've lived in for the last 5 years. So standard stuff naman, but NBI apostille takes time. So this is one you want to start early. Huwag maghintay until everything else is ready. So I also want you guys to check out our website for the document timeline planner that will help you determine and plan yung pag-request mo ng documents up to the time of your consulate appointment. Check that out.
Yes, guys, that's in our DNV insiders. So aside from NBI or clean criminal record, also, of course, a valid passport, health insurance also that covers you in Spain, and also proof of where you'll be staying.
The document list can look overwhelming when you first see it all together, but each item is logical. Spain just wants to know you can support yourself and you have your life in order. When you think about it that way, it makes sense naman talaga all of the requirements.
Bottom line, if you're earning around 2,849 euros a month or more, most of it from non-Spanish clients, you have a clean record, you're probably closer to qualifying than you think.
Okay, I want to slow down here because this is where I think a lot of people get confused. And honestly, where some of the outdated information online really causes problems.
Yup, there are two paths to the DND depending on your work setup. Remote employee versus freelancer. Same visa, medyo magkaibang process and requirements.
If you're a remote employee, you have a contract, you get a regular salary from a foreign company, your path is a bit more straightforward. But may ilang bagay na madalas namimiss ng tao dito. First, your employer's company needs to have been in business for at least 1 year. Second, the letter from your employer isn't just, hey, she works here. It has to be specifically it has to specifically state your job title, your salary, the length of your contract, explicit permission to work remotely from Spain. This is important. The job description itself needs to be clearly 100% remote. If it even hints at on site or physical presence, the OHE will reject it.
May isa pa, and this one catches people off guard. Depending on where you're from, you may need what's called a certificate of coverage from your home country's social security authority. For Filipinos, that means getting a document that confirms your remote work status. This is not a permit from Spain. This comes from your side, but it's required. And a lot of people don't find out about it until their application is already being reviewed.
If you're a freelancer And this is a huge portion of the Filipino remote work community. There's also one layer to consider. Once you're in Spain, you have the DNV, you need to register as what's called an autonomo. That's the Spanish system for self employed people.
And autonomo has its own rules, monthly contributions, different tax treatment, specific ways you need to invoice. It's very doable pero kailangan mong malaman na they're enforcing the autonomo. One thing I wish someone told me early actually is don't assume the freelancer path is harder and then give up na kagad. It's just different. There are a lot of Filipinos who've done it very successfully.
Yes, we're going to do a full episode on the autonomous path because freelancers generally need their own deep dive also. But for now, know your category before you start applying because the documents you need are going to be different.
And then there's also Beckham Law for like remote employees, right? Should we touch on it?
Briefly, sure. Beckham Law is a special tax regime that some DND holders can apply for instead of Spain's regular income tax, which can go up to 47%. You pay a flat of 24%.
Key thing, it's not automatic. You apply for it separately after you arrive, and not everyone will qualify. It actually depends on your situation. But for people who do qualify, it's a significant financial benefit. And we're going to do a full episode on that, the difference on autonomo and Beckham law. So, bottom line, remote employee path is a bit more straightforward. Freelancer path is absolutely doable, but merong extra steps or layers of requirements. Know which one you are before you start. All right, let's say you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, I think I qualify. What do I do next?
Two routes. You can apply from outside Spain. For Filipinos, that means through the Spanish consulate in Manila or Cebu, or you can apply from inside Spain if you're already there.
The consulate route is the most common. You gather your document, you submit your application, and you wait. This is actually most common, especially if you're coming with your family. This typically is 1 to 3 months for processing, though we have heard really great stories of faster application and approvals. Some we've heard is like just 20 days.
And I want to be honest here, the consulate experience can vary. Some people have smooth application, some hit delays. Having your documents clean and complete from the start ang pinakamalaking difference. But don't worry, when the consulate asks you for additional documents, that's also a good thing because then you have a chance to, add more stronger documentation since they're reviewing it. So it's not totally a decline or a disapproval of your application.
The second route, applying from inside Spain, is for people who are already there on a tourist visa. So you would have to have a Schengen visa. You apply through a specific government unit called the OHE. It can actually be faster in some cases.
But the catch is your tourist visa gives you 90 days in the Schengen area. You need to apply before that window closes. So it requires planning. Hindi mo pwedeng mag-land lang sa Spain and just figure it out. So check out our free Schengen 9180 day calculator to help you track your Schengen visa validity. This is free in our website, ReadyForDNV.com.
Yes, check that out. Documents to start gathering right now. Check out the complete list so you can see it in our website at ReadyForDNV.com.
And the honest truth is, the document list looks different depending on your specific situation. Whether you have dependents coming with you, whether you're employed or freelancing, whether you're applying in your local country or from Spain.
That's exactly why the DNV Complete Guide at readyfordnv.com exists. We have checklists, templates, and updated information to help you. We also have the DNV Application Review Pack. It's built to give you a personalized list based on your actual situation. Hindi yung generic template na baka hindi naman applicable sa'yo.
Okay, that's the DNV in a nutshell. And I know it's a lot of tikin. Pero if there's one thing I want you to walk away with, it's this. This visa is real, it's achievable, and the information is out there. You just have to know where to look, which is why we're here. Every episode in Ready for DNB, we're going to take one piece of this process and break it down properly. Current information, no guesswork, walang outdated resources.
If you want to know where you stand right now, take the free eligibility quiz at readyfordnv.com. 3 minutes, and you'll have a real picture of whether you qualify. Next episode, we're going deep on income requirements, what counts, what doesn't, and how to document it whether you're employed or freelancing.
If this episode helped you, share mo ito with a friend or family member who's been curious about the Spain DNV. Chances are they've been Googling it and getting 5 different answers. That's what we're here for. See you next episode.
Full episodes of Ready for DNV are available in our DNV Insider. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Part of this will be free after a while, but subscribers get it first. And as always, everything you need to take action towards your Spain DNV is at readyfordnv.com.